Let's start with a big question. Can you actually grow your wealth and make the world a better place at the same time? It's the idea at the heart of one of the single biggest trends in finance today, ESG investing. So, can you really have it both ways? Let's find out. For the longest time, investing felt like you had to pick a side. Over here, you've got pure profit, chasing the biggest returns possible no matter what. And over there, you've got principle, using your money to back the things you care about, like tackling climate change or making sure people are paid fairly. But what if that was a false choice all along? This is where ESG investing comes in. Its core promise is incredibly simple. You don't have to choose. The idea is that you can invest in companies that are doing good things for the world and delivering really strong financial returns. So let's start with that promise. What does the data actually say about making good money by doing good? Well, this isn't just some feel-good theory. If you look at the historical data, a portfolio of top-rated ESG stocks has actually managed to outperform the S&P 500 over the past decade. The thinking goes that companies that are really good at managing their environmental and social risks aren't just more ethical, they're often just better run, more forward-thinking businesses that are built for long-term success. Okay, so to really understand how this all works, we've got to break down the acronym itself. Let's decode what E, S, and G actually mean. ESG stands for environmental, social, and governance. You can think of it as a set of glasses investors use to look at a company. Instead of just seeing the profits and losses on the balance sheet, these glasses let you see a company's citizenship and its total impact on the world. First up is E for environmental. This is the one you hear about most. It looks at a company's relationship with the planet. What's its carbon footprint? How efficient is it with energy? How does it handle waste? A great example is a giant like Microsoft, which is pushing to use 100% renewable energy by 2025. That's a huge commitment. Next, you've got S for social. This is all about people. How does a company treat its employees, its customers, and the communities where it operates? It covers everything from diversity and inclusion to worker safety. And some of the best companies here, like Adobe, have done incredible things, like achieving global gender pay parity. That means, on average, men and women are paid equally across their entire global workforce. And finally, there's G for governance. Think of this as the internal plumbing of a company. It's all about how it's run. Is the leadership team ethical? Is the board of directors diverse? Are they transparent with their shareholders? It's about accountability. A company like Cadence, for instance, takes this seriously by making sure its own high standards extend all the way down its supply chain. Okay, so that's the theory. But what does a really great ESG company look like in the real world? Let's go inside one and see. We're going to look at a company called Xylem. They're a global leader in water technology, and they have a perfect AAA ESG rating from MSCI, which is one of the top rating agencies out there. An AAA is basically a perfect score. It puts them in the absolute top tier of companies in their field. And you can see why they get that top rating right here. I mean, look at this. Xylem set these 4 huge sustainability goals they wanted to help their customers reach by 2025. And by 2024, a year early, they had already blown past every single one. They aren't just hitting targets, they are absolutely crushing them. And on the environmental side, their commitment is serious. They have what are called science-based targets. That just means their goals aren't random numbers. They're aligned with what climate science says is actually necessary to make a difference. And they've got a clear plan to hit net zero by 2050. This isn't just PR talk, it's a validated long-term strategy. And what about that social pillar? Get this, their employees put in over 220,000 volunteer hours just last year through their company program. That tells you a lot about the culture, right? That giving back is just part of the DNA there. But this is the crucial part, the real world impact. This quote from one of their clients says it all. Their technology stopped a pipe from breaking that would have cut off water for 800,000 people for more than 2 weeks. This is where profit and principle just perfectly align. Their product makes money and it does incredible public good. So after seeing a company like Xylem, this whole ESG thing seems pretty straightforward, maybe even a slam dunk. But, and you probably knew about was coming, the reality of ESG investing is, well, it's a bit of a puzzle. The case for a company like Xylem is so strong. So does that mean you can just find the companies with the best ESG scores and invest? Easy, right? Not quite. This is the big challenge with ESG today. Researchers have found that the agencies rating these companies often disagree with each other, and sometimes they disagree wildly. You have the 3 biggest players in the rating game: MSCI, Sustainalytics, and S&P Global. The thing is, they all have their own secret sauce. They look at different data, they care about different metrics, and they weigh them differently. So a company might get a top score from one agency and a totally mediocre one from another, which makes it really tough for an investor to know what's what. And even inside companies that are trying to do the right thing, it's not always simple. This quote from a sustainability leader at the company ASML is so fascinating. He says that sometimes these small, visible changes, like getting rid of disposable coffee cups, cause more of a headache internally than massive, impactful changes like redesigning a global supply chain. It's a great reminder that this stuff is complicated on the ground. So, with all this complexity, how can you actually put your money to work if you want to invest with impact? Let's talk about your move. Well, the mechanics of buying an ESG-focused stock or fund are exactly the same as buying anything else. The real work happens before you hit that buy button. A lot of brokerage platforms now let you filter for ESG or see the ratings we've been talking about. The key is to use those ratings not as the final answer, but as a starting point for your own research. So what's the big takeaway here? ESG investing is a really powerful way to align your money with your values and support companies that are building a better future. But because the ratings can be a puzzle, you can't just rely on a single letter grade. The real power comes from using these scores as a tool to help you look deeper and make your own informed decision. And that leaves us with one last big thought to chew on. As issues like climate change and social justice become more and more central to our economy, will the line between traditional investing and impact investing just disappear? Maybe in the future, thinking about a company's impact won't be a niche strategy, but simply the only smart way to invest.